I'm good. I just woke up.
That's nice. Just to let you know, we are streaming currently, so don't say anything you wouldn't want
That's okay.
us to hear.
For anyone who is there, hello. Here's my just woken up literally right now face.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you for joining me today. I have no idea how today is going to go. I am still very, very tired and travel hangover.
Yeah,
So yeah, things are either going to
totally.
be fun or super, super scary.
They can be fun and chatty. Tell me about Work Camp Europe. How is it?
Oh wow. I mean, like um, it was a word camp in Europe and I got to see all the people and I'm just going to share my screen while I'm chatting to you. I probably didn't get
Hmm.
to see half of the people that I actually wanted to see. Or no,
Mm,
let me rephrase that. No, let me rephrase that. I didn't get to see a lot of the people that I hoped to see, um, just because of
okay.
the nature of the largeness that is a European WordCamp. Um,
Yes, of course.
and so constantly today, I am seeing um, folks that were there that I didn't get to connect with that I'm a little bit bummed about.
I hear
But
that.
it is what it is.
No, I totally get that. I mean, I've only been to one large regional camp, and that was Work Camp US in 2019.
Okay.
And it certainly wasn't the very biggest one, but it was pretty big. And I came away with the same feeling, There were so many people I did connect with, and there were so many people I was like, "You were there? What? Where? When? How?"
Absolutely. It's I think my biggest problem was that excuse me, I hadn't been to a large WordCamp for so long that
Mm,
I kind of forgot how much of a thing it is and what it's like and trying to connect with people and also um for the first time in my life, a little bit of
yeah.
dealing with a little bit of WordPress fame. Like people coming up to me and telling me, "Oh, I attended your workshop and it helped me with this," or "Thank you for doing this," or thing. And I'm just like, "Wow, well, thank you for just coming up and telling me that. That's amazing." And just dealing with that. To which a fellow contributor and colleague of mine, Birgit, you will probably know from Gutenberg Times,
Hmm.
very very much didn't let me play my tiny violin too much, and basically just went oh and did this like baby rocking motion, and instantly put me in my place. So that was really cool. So yeah, it was a lot. It was by by Saturday. By the end of Saturday, I was very much feeling overwhelmed with just all the conversations and all the things.
Hmm.
And as Tristan says in the chat, making appointments always makes sense, and that is definitely something that I think I will do next time. I will
Yeah,
make appointments before and appointments after, to connect with people, and I need to find a better way of doing that for next time. So
for
yes,
sure. I
that
get
was
that.
yeah, that was that. Excuse me, I'm still coughing a bit. I've got a bit of a chest anyway.
No.
Um, how are you? How was your week? How have you been since I last saw you? What have you been up to?
What have I been up to? My week's been really busy, but in
Okay,
a good way.
okay.
Yesterday was my mom's birthday, so we went
Oh
out to
wow,
a new restaurant that we've been wanting to try for a while, and it absolutely lived up to the hype, and it was the best food I had in such a long time outside, and it
awesome,
was just amazing.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. Sorry, I'm just making changes to things here quickly because my sound is very loud for some reason. Okay, there we go. That's awesome. So what kind of food? When you say the food was amazing, what are we talking about?
It was Pakistani food.
Oh, okay, okay,
But it was really, really good food.
okay.
Like usually I don't really like South Asian food when I go out to a restaurant because, I am South Asian, so I know what good South Asian food is.
Well, you know what real
So,
South Asian food is.
and but it was just really, really good food. I was very impressed and I really enjoyed myself.
Oh,
And
that's awesome.
my mom had a good time. The whole family, we all got together. It was great.
That's amazing. So, forgive me if I don't know this, but is your family originally from Pakistan?
My parents are from Pakistan. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. And
Yeah.
I could talk to you about this for the whole day because I love hearing the origin stories of superheroes. But were you were you born in Canada?
No, I was
No.
born in Pakistan, but I never lived there.
Okay.
When I was very young, I think I was like 3 or 4 months old. My parents moved to Saudi Arabia, so
Oh.
actually, my childhood was in Saudi Arabia, and then we
Oh.
moved to Canada when I was 11.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
That's quite a story. I've lived in the same country my entire life.
yeah. I sometimes, I know people who've like went to the same school for their whole lives or lived in the same city their whole lives. I'm like, what's that like? I don't know what that is like. I've lived in many cities.
That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. Okay, so we should we do
Yeah,
some dev?
let's do it. Let's do it.
So today I was thinking of just focusing on the style, the custom block styles link that you shared with me, just so I can kind of understand what's going
Hmm.
on there. And I was kind of reading through it earlier before we started this. And I
Yeah.
see, and I actually have some questions for you before we actually get going. So I wanted to check with you. I see
Sure.
that the documentation says you can register custom blocks with PHP and you can register it with JavaScript.
Hmm.
Have you found one to be better than the other, or easier than the other, or they're both the same?
Because I do a lot of the times when I'm building themes and such, there's so many things I'm already doing the JavaScript that I just automatically
Okay,
lean towards
okay,
registering it in JavaScript, but
okay,
I have not found any performance difference or anything like that between the two.
okay. Perfect. Well, I've decided to go with the JavaScript way, just
Okay.
because I'm trying to challenge myself. I'm not
Yeah.
primarily a JavaScript developer, but I do want to learn
Hmm.
more about it. So I've decided to stick with the JavaScript way. So that's awesome. So I
Yeah.
have I have
Good.
the best person here with me. Um, I noticed that I'm reading through this, and they talk about at the top here. I think it says you need to, for a style to be available, you must first register it using a name, a label, and some CSS. WordPress uses the name
Mhm.
parameter to generate the class, and then it's added. Blah blah blah. And so it looks like you. Let me jump down to here. You register it. So you create the JavaScript file, you add register block style and the block name. So that'll be, in our
Mhm.
case, we're working with the separator. Then you include the name parameter, then you give it a label. And once you've done that, you include the file. Okay, we all know how to do that. That's good. And then you
Mhm.
add your CSS to the editor. Step 6, add your CSS to the editor and the front of the website. You can use
Yep.
the selector and add your CSS file that you're queuing, blah, blah, blah. And then you can deregister styles. But the one thing I don't see here, and the one thing that Emily mentioned last week that she would like to be able to do, and
Hmm.
maybe I'm missing this, so tell me if I'm being silly, but she would like to be able to register a custom style, for example, this the skewed line, and then have folks be able to like make it thicker or thinner or longer or shorter. Is this the way
Yes.
to set that up?
Yeah, yeah. So you
Okay.
would do your style. Your style would just do the skewing,
Mm-hmm.
and then you'd have. I don't remember if the separator block has like a border support or something like that.
Oh, so you
You would probably want to use something like that to add the ability
okay.
to make it thicker or thinner.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, got it. So let's look at
Hmm.
the skewing then. Let's do that. So let me. This is going to be like really boring for you. I'm going to be doing everything step by step. But
Damn, this
let's.
is boring. No way.
Okay, so let us get a file. Let me open this up over here. I remember where I was. Hang on, I was sorry. Before I do that,
Mhm.
can you see my screen? Can I just confirm that
I get.
I have shared? Okay, excellent. I have shared my screen with you. That's good. I'm going to close this window down, and I'm going to just. Okay, we have a bunch of people in the chat. So hello to the people in the chat. I am terrible at live streaming and checking these things, so please forgive me if I haven't said hello. Um, while I'm doing this, I must mention that I ran into somebody, Ryan Marks. You might know somebody who's in the community team, and he mentioned there is something called OBS Ninja, which apparently allows you to, if each one of us has OBS or OBS running on our machines, we can
Mm-hmm.
create a source of each other's OBS stream. So that might be an
Yes.
option for how we do things.
Yeah,
So
totally. I've got OBS running
okay,
because
okay,
I used
of course,
I used to do streaming
okay,
at some
okay.
point. Maybe one day I will again.
Yeah, I find the streaming thing to be interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no doubt.
I'll leave it at that. Okay, so let's read the documentation. So the documentation says create a file, blah. So you can put it wherever you want, I guess, because we're going to enqueue it the old way anyway. Um, do you tend to stick it in your assets folder?
Yeah, that's where
Yeah,
I would go. Hmm.
good old school assets JSS, right? JS, right?
Yeah.
JSS, JS and CSS. Oh my word, I'm tired. Yes,
We know what you're saying.
yesterday, yesterday I well, I've forgotten now what I was doing, but I went to go and do something in the kitchen, and I had a super serious senior moment where I was just standing there and I didn't know where I was. It was crazy. Um, so
Yeah,
if I
I think
call
that's just a
this,
human moment.
I'm going to just call it sending custom for now, and let's be good developers and leave. I know, yeah. No, it's JS. I can custom block. Can I still type? Good grief. Custom block styles. Okay, so custom block theme styles.
Hey, you do a pretty good job. When I know people are watching me type, I lose my ability to touch type somehow.
So here's the thing: I don't actually have the ability to touch type properly, so I
Okay.
can't get away with it. So I learned to, in heavy inverted quotes, touch type by playing adventure games in the 80s. And so it's a
Mm-hmm.
self-taught version of touch typing. So I can type sentences like "look door" and "open door" really quickly, but the rest of the stuff I have to be able to see my keyboard and at least generally see the first key that I'm typing, and then my brain maps
Mm-hmm.
the rest from there.
That's hilarious and very awesome.
Okay, so we're working with the separator. So I'm guessing it's going to be called separator.
Yep.
Yeah, probably that one. Okay, and then go back to me. Actually, just
And
side by
essentially
side this.
you have the name and then you have the object and the object
Okay.
has your settings,
Okay,
right?
cool. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out why mine is probably because it's going as big as it can. Okay. Sorry, where are we? Style, core quote. Okay, name, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So name. So, I mean, that's just. So I'm using Copilot and Copilot's suggesting that, and I'm going to go with that.
Yeah.
We can always
Mm.
change. What happens if you use it and then change it? If it refreshes, does it also work or is it tied to the name?
No, it's tied to the name. So
Great.
then what'll happen is the class, it gets added to the additional class field.
Right.
So then it gets unselected, then you'd have to go and select the style again, and
Got
that
it.
will re-add the brand new style.
Got
Yeah.
it. Okay. Well,
So
we
it's
can.
it's nice in the sense that it won't break if you accidentally remove it,
Right.
but it just could get a little messy in your additional classes area.
Got it. Got it. I'm going to leave it as it is for now, which I think is fine, but we can always refactor
Mhm.
later if we need to. Oh, go away. Here we go. Here the tightness comes in. I hate the fact that PHP Storm does this. If you paste a string with quotes inside of a string, empty string, it puts in the escape characters. It's painful.
Mm.
Anyway, okay. And this one's going to be Sendig. Okay, fine. It's translatable. Excellent. Yay, happy days. That is all the code you need in the JavaScript file. Okay, next here. Okay, let us copy that and then find our theme files. Do we have a functions? No, we don't. I'm assuming functions.php.
Yep.
Yep, that's not very well documented.
Yeah, I think that's an assumption there. But
As a
yeah,
as a
usually in a block theme, you wouldn't
yeah.
need a functions.php. Though, so usually, when you have a regular theme, you
Mm,
always make a functions.php because you have so many things that you're adding support for in the theme setup.
right,
In a,
right.
in a block theme, you don't need it immediately, so it doesn't come with it.
Right. No, fair enough. I'm a bit of a documentation nerd, so when I see things like this, I'm like, we can fix that. Anyway, that's another day.
Yes. Oh, I do the same thing.
I must say that's one of the things I love about doing these kind of things is you pick up these little things here and there that you can help improve the project. Um, I find that really cool. Okay,
Totally.
functions. Yes, we can add it to get. That's fine. Okay, so let's just give it a proper comment because no, we don't even just doc block it. Come on. Yeah.
Now, this is one of the things about the fact that when you're not using a build process with your JavaScript files, that are related to a block editor, then you have what you have here on line 13, where you have to manually add your dependencies.
Right.
Whereas
Right.
if you're using the WP scripts package to build your JavaScript files, it'll figure out the dependencies for you, and then you just have to
Oh,
add that
nice.
array in. Yeah.
Nice. So do they discuss that? Yeah.
In here, I'm not sure if they do that in the theme.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Because
when
the also the thing is that it makes sense that they don't really talk about
mm,
that. That is technically more advanced, and you should be able to do these things without that, right?
fair
So,
enough. Yeah, fair enough. Okay. So let's do that and do that, and that's the block editor assets. Da 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 da. Da. So when you say, I'm just thinking as I'm working along here. So when you say like using the WP scripts for the build steps, do you use WP scripts
mm.
to build your assets for themes?
Oh yeah,
Oh, cool. Might want to learn how
not
to do that
all of
sometime.
them, not all of them, because WP scripts is not great at. I mean,
Mm.
you can make it do it.
Okay. Okay. Oh, that's cool.
I don't know if
I
I'd call it the most ideal thing in the world, but yeah, you can.
okay. Oh, that's awesome.
You can kind of twist it a little.
Oh, that's awesome. I love those kind of things. So that might be something we look into version 2 of this.
Mm,
Okay, so there we got blocks and there and sending and editor assets, and that's there. And that's the action hook, and I like my action hooks above my function callback. That's just me. And I'm
same
just going
here.
to cool. Out of interest, where did you learn that? Or did
Where did I learn that?
or did you just do it
Um,
yourself to put it? Because normally the examples
no,
are always at the bottom.
I think I probably saw Justin Tadlock do it on his blog.
Okay, okay. Because I learned that from Time Walk. She had the
Mm,
WP Developers Club and the Know the Code site. And when I saw that, I was like, yeah, that makes so much more sense. Okay, let me just make a array
Chat's
story
quiet today.
custom block. They are, so they're either really bored or really interested. I can tell you're an expert live streamer. You're doing things like chat's quiet today and getting people involved. I like it. I actually, I once did a live stream where I just streamed to nobody for an hour because I'm used to the chat being quiet and I just assumed nobody was talking to me. But actually, I hadn't hit start streaming. It was rather
Mm.
embarrassing. Okay, so those are my block things queued. Okay, step 5. You need one more step to make the label translation ready. Below that, add that. The first parameter is the handle. Select for your script. Second is text domain. Okay, so let's copy that out. That's the same file. Oh, it's just this part. Sorry.
Why? It's the same
Yeah,
thing.
it's just this part.
Oh,
It's
it's
just
the
this part. Yeah.
translation. I see.
There we go. It's just
Mm.
that part. Okay, got it. And we need this one. That's one of the downsides of. Sorry, I've lost my train of thought there. It's one of the downsides of code examples. It's very difficult to, or at least the code snippet block, it's very difficult to highlight an addition. Um, it's actually something that's come up in reviews of my
There is a
tutorials.
block that lets you do highlighting as well, but I don't know
Oh,
if they've did that to the .org.
okay.
Yeah. Because one of the other things I don't like about that is the fact that there's no line numbers either.
Mm,
Because even if you didn't have highlighting, if there was line numbers, then you could
mm,
call out the line number, right?
mm.
Like, oh, the thing that we just added was in this line.
I think there's
Yeah.
actually, I'm pretty sure I remember when they first implemented the new, I must go and find it, when they first implemented the new code block, there was actually examples where you
Mm.
can, sorry, excuse me, you can enable not only line numbers, but also like dark mode.
Mm.
And I just think they're not using it yet or something, but I think it is possible.
Mm.
So that's interesting. Okay. And then you want your separate CSS. So we're going to do a CSS file. So let's just go and put it in assets. And let's just seeing
Do you already have an editor style sheet?
no, not that I'm aware of. Oh
Okay.
wait, hang on. So I could, I mean, I could use this one, couldn't I? No.
Yeah, you definitely are gonna have to put it in there as well. And but you also need to enqueue it into the editor so that people see it in the editor. So you still need
Uh,
an editor style sheet.
oh, I
We
see.
just
I've got
added
you now.
the
I've got you
same
now.
old school way. Yeah.
I've got you now. Okay.
Which they don't mention here, do they?
No, they don't. That's why I'm just checking if I've missed something. So maybe they're just talking about the front end and then you'll have to add. Maybe they did later on. Let's see.
It might be in
Styles.
a different like page where they just talk about editor styles just in general. But it's the
Okay.
same way as it used to be for the way you would add. You could technically still use the add underscore
Hmm,
editor underscore styles, and it does enqueue itself into the block editor.
got it. See, these are the kind of things that are useful to stumble across and try and work around, because if it's not easy to find information for this, then it'd be good to update the
Mm-hmm.
documentation. Okay,
Definitely.
let us finish doing this one and then we'll see what happens. So this one more step is needed to make the label. We've done that. Add your CSS to the editor and I'm just reading this and I'm like, what?
Oh, so they want you to add an entire style sheet just for this block style. That's what they're doing here,
uh,
which you could definitely do.
okay. I just
Not
use
sure
the
I'd do
file
it,
that
but
you're
you can.
reading. For example, here it says you can use a selector and add your CSS to a file that you're already enqueuing. For example, style CSS file and the edit style sheet. Okay, so here they talk about the edit style sheet. In this example, the CSS is in a separate file, is enqueued with that. Enqueue loads the styles in both the editor and the front. Okay, so if I do it this way, then it does it in both. Okay, so I guess you do it
Yeah,
separately. You have
because
one.
well, it depends.
Hmm,
So in this case, the way it's doing it is it's actually attaching it to the block. So whenever you're
right,
using the block, whether it's in the front or on the editor, it's going to enqueue the style sheet.
got it,
Depending on how many styles you're adding, how many blocks you're modifying, it may or may not make sense to do that
got
in
it,
that way,
got it,
right?
got it, got it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go what the documentation says now.
Yeah.
And then as we hit snags later on, because I'm sure Emily has thrown us loads of wonderful curveballs, we can refactor. Okay, so let's do this. Oh right, this is, I remember this hook from like the early days of block development. Okay, sure. I'm trying to remember a whole bunch of things here. That, and then I could just do this, I guess. I wonder what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually stick it in a custom block style CSS. So first of all, I need to fix this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That, and then assets JS, no, CSS. Okay, doesn't have any dependencies. Okay, great. And then let's create that for now. Let's create the file, custom, let's just call it block style.css, and the JavaScript, and I will fix that in the functions. Block style, I'm going to make this block styles. I get weird about naming things. And that's sending custom. So actually, I prefer that. Sorry. This might be super boring for folks. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Okay, and let's see this. All right. Handle sending block styles, script sending block styles. Okay, that's fine.
So the great thing about this now is whenever you add any other block styles too, you could just add it to this
Mm,
um
mm,
this CSS file. Yeah.
mm. Got it. Okay, and then margin left. I think it was just this. But now, it's probably going to hang on. It's going to be this, right? That's going to be the
Yes.
class,
It'll
right?
be is style Sendig separator. Mhm.
Okay. Do they actually talk about how it works in the is style? Oh, there we go. There we go. Is style.
Mhm.
I'd love to.
Yeah, so anything you give them the name, it'll start with is hyphen style, and then whatever name you gave it, it'll
Got
add
it.
it there.
Got it. I'd love
Yeah.
to know your thoughts while we're doing this. I know I've seen folks comment about some of the class names and how super long they are. I would love to know. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I'd love to know your thoughts on that conversation.
Which one?
The fact that the block editor, when it generates class names for blocks, they're often quite
Yeah.
long, especially if the name is long. So it's this, so sometimes you have to write this massively long class selector before you can apply your styles. I'd love to know your thoughts on that conversation. If you feel like sharing them, if you don't, it's fine.
Well,
You can plead the fifth.
I have all the opinions and I'm not afraid to share them. First of all, hi Victor, hi Linda.
Hey,
We've got some new
folks.
people in the chat. And as for my thoughts on the CSS, I don't mind that there's lots of CSS classes. What I do mind is how some of them, when the block editor is generating styling and targeting styles, it gets so specific that in order for you to override that, you have to either get hyper specific, or if you want to be lazy, then use the important flag. That I do not enjoy. Have all the classes you want, but please don't make it hard for themes and plugins and blocks to override them,
Right.
because base styles should never, and anything the block editor creates should be treated as a base style, especially if it's not a user generated one. And sometimes it isn't. It should not ever take precedence over a theme style or a plugin style or a user style.
Got it.
That's those are my thoughts on that. Yeah.
That's totally fair. These are the things that I like to know, so that's why I'm asking. I'm going to old school this, and I'm going to add a border, just so I can see this thing firing. So just give me a second here. Remember we used to do these red borders on things in the old days?
All the time.
All the time.
I don't even try. I just go border one pick solid so that it'll show up in black. I'm so lazy.
I've always done it in red just because maybe I've done some black somewhere else. And, so I've always, I actually did this in my live stream for the actual final block. I by default had a border on it so we could see it come up. Cool. So let's do that.
The one thing that I would definitely do is, for sort of a self-documentation purpose as well, is to always add in this style selector the CSS selector for the block as well. Okay. So I would make it WP block separator as well, together.
Okay.
Or are you missing a dot at the beginning?
Missing a dot, you're right.
But yeah, because sometimes there are situations where the style is not going to kick in because of the specific situation. So just by doing this and defaulting to it, you always are a little extra safe.
That's a handy tip. No, that's a super handy tip. Thank you. So like that, not.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect. That's
because it's all on the same
div. Got it.
The WP block separator and the is style Sendig separator. Yeah.
Awesome. Handy tip. Thank you very much. Okay, this should theoretically work now. So let's have a look. So if we now edit this, and do I have it on this one? I think I do. So that's the footer. Wait, no, I don't think it's on that one. I think we were doing. It was I can't remember now. Oh wait, I think it was the footer. Yeah. Now that I think about it, yes, we did do on the footer. Okay. So there it is there. So now, is this supposed to apply to the separator, or is it supposed to apply to like a separate thing?
What do you mean?
Well, should I see the style that we've just applied on this footer now?
Well, you have to select it first.
Oh, is it not selected?
So now you'll in the styles, you'll select the Sendig separator style, right? In the
Okay.
sidebar.
So down here.
No, no,
No,
no.
no. Where,
Okay.
where? Okay, show me,
You
show me,
want to
show me.
go into the regular sidebar. So click on your separator.
Yeah.
Now choose the sidebar option, not the style book option from your toolbar.
So separator.
The inspector. Yeah.
Okay.
There we go. So you see now in the style section, you see default, wide line, dots, Sendik.
There.
Mm. There's your border.
That's so cool. Okay.
Yeah.
I did not.
Now, if
Okay.
you
I
were to
did not
open
see
that
that.
advanced section so at the bottom, so if you open advanced and go scroll down, see, that's how it adds it. So
Oh.
whenever you select a style, it actually adds it as this additional CSS class right here, which is why if you were to somehow remove that style from your JavaScript and make it unselectable, if you still had the CSS for it, it would still work.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How very cool. Okay, so that's, let me just check here. So that's applying the border. Okay.
The margin left, but because it is full width, I think the margin left won't
Oh,
matter.
yes. So then I remember Emily mentioned this. So what we need to
Oh,
do
it won't matter
is,
maybe also because you have margin applied through the inspector as well. And that
now
might take
that,
precedence because it's a user style.
right. Now, I wonder if that, hang on, let me just check whether that's, so that would be in my theme JSON, right?
You know
Or the database.
the share screen with me on it in the stream, it's
Yeah.
getting in the way for some people because they
Okay.
can't see the sidebar.
Can
They're
you move the box of your pictures and do that again? We can't see the top. Okay, so let me do that. So I'm going to move that down to, actually, I'm going to move that there for now, so that folks can see this. Okay, so I'm going to go back to here. So what we did was, so I find the list view to be the easiest way to select something. So I
Yeah, I
select
love
the
the list
separator
view.
there. And so first of all, what was confusing me was the terminology. So this area is called the inspector.
Well, it's better as a developer, I call it the inspector because in
Okay.
code it's called the inspector, but it is
Yeah.
really the setting
They call
sidebar.
it, yeah, that's right. They call it the setting sidebar, but in the code, it's the inspector controller. I remember that now. Okay,
Correct.
okay. So then in here, as Aruba was saying, there's the styles area, and then it's set to default currently, but below there is the sending separator style that's been added, and when we click on that, it changed to red. So to test this, if I remove that in queuing now, it should remove that style, right?
From the setting sidebar,
Yes.
yes.
So let's do that. Let's.
But your border will stay.
That's fine.
Well, if you remove the style sheet as well, then the border will go away too.
Got it. Now this is where I can't remember how my keyboard shortcuts on a Mac work, so I'm just going to hard code this myself manually. There we go. So that removes all that. So what that should now do, let's refresh this. That one. I'm just clearing the cache and reloading. I want to see what happens. Okay, so it goes there. And if we do that, there we go. It doesn't remove it.
But now, if you open the advanced panel,
it still has the.
Oh, it didn't. It removed it. Okay,
Oh.
they've changed that. Good to know.
Do you think that was a bug originally?
I suppose it could be treated as one.
No, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, that's pretty awesome. All right, so I want to let me just uncomment this. This is okay. Sorry, I need to make a note. This is so going to be an online workshop soon. So this is a little trick for folks. If you ever see something online that you want an online workshop for, go to my WP content GitHub repository. It's all the workshops, tutorials, lesson plans, and blog posts that I work on, and log an issue, because I would love to hear what folks want to see workshops on. So I'm going to create an online workshop idea, and the reason I do it here and not in the Learn WordPress repository is because I still feel like I need to go through it a few times myself to like fully understand it. And then when I fully understand it, then I create the issue and learn WordPress. But you're welcome to log it there as well. I just log it for myself here. So custom block styles. Let's just make a note of that. Custom block styles. That's going to be fun one day. Okay, cool. All right, so that's done. Let me refresh this. Okay, that's that. They're sending. It's red. Woo-hoo. Okay. So now we need to check for this margin. Is this being set in? I'm pretty sure I don't have anything in the database because I think I cleared it out the last time we were doing this.
Right. You have the margin set on the user level in the editor itself right now, right?
I don't think I set it.
Well, it's showing there, which means you did.
Okay. Well then.
Otherwise, that would be the default of it, and it wouldn't show up like that.
Got. So then, if we want to change that, I would need to reset it. Yeah.
That's right.
There we go.
So now the margin went away. So now it's set right at the very top.
Right. Right. Okay. I wonder, we must have done that 2 weeks ago. I've completely forgotten. Okay. So let's do this. I'm trying to see what this is doing on the front. I have this like need to know what's going on in the code. Otherwise it's going to drive me crazy.
Okay. Brian is in the chat. So it's not a thing they fixed. Remember when we had this class that we added and went away advanced? It's because you didn't save it. If you had saved it, then gotten rid of the style in the script, that class would have still been style, the additional class names area.
Got it. Hey, Brian. Okay, got it. Thank you. Okay, awesome. So now I just want to inspect this. So for my own, okay, so there, dev class block group, block separator has, okay, so line one has custom sending black color, has custom sending black background color, has background is style default. So this.
Did you save it?
Oh, I need to save it. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm adding a custom style, but then it needs to be applied and saved. Got it.
Correct.
Got it. Okay. I'm understanding what I'm doing now. Oh, right. Here we go. Hey! That's so cool. All right. I like that. So what folks can now do is they can come back and they can switch back to the default, or they can switch to sending, and then it'll apply, and it applies the style, and it's over there, but off the screen there. I find that extremely pleasing. Can we just stop there for today?
You could also make it the default. So in Sendig, you could make it so the Sendig separator is the default behavior.
So how do we do that?
In your JS file, you can. This should be in the handbook as well, so you should open that up so people can see it.
Okay.
So there should be an area where it tells you that you can set it.
There was something. I remember it now. It was right at the top here. There we go. Is default.
There we go.
See, now this is an annoyance for me. No offense to the person who wrote this documentation, but these arguments should be above register custom block styles with PHP in a separate area about arguments available that apply to both. Because right now, it makes me think that this only applies to the PHP side. So that's interesting. But that's fine. That's fine.
That's probably my complaint about the block editor handbook as well.
That's okay. That's okay. I'm going to register this as a bug after the stream. and then I'll probably go and fix it and submit to PR. Okay. So while we're here, let's have a look. We've got block name, we've got style properties. Oh, style properties goes inside it. So it's another object. We've got name. Oh, wait, no.
That is the object. The object has the name. And they call
so there's the block name. And then, okay, got it. Name label is default. Inline style, so you can add inline styles. Interesting. Style handle, a string with a handle of the CSS file. So you could actually I could have actually maybe done that without the enqueue, according to this.
Well, no.
Oh, no, it still needs to be.
Yeah.
It's just the handle. Got it. Okay.
Hmm.
Got it.
Hmm.
Got it. Got it. Okay. So let's now, if I want to do this as defaults, I probably need to switch this back to defaults and save that, right?
Sure. Yeah, let's do that and then try it
Um,
and see what.
or, or, this is, sorry, hang on. I'm just thinking out loud here. This is the template. So what if I clear customizations? That'll set it back to default. Save
Hmm.
that. Save that. Okay. And then go here, and then is default, not that one, but that one. And I'm
Hmm.
guessing true. Let's check the docs. Boolean, yes, set the value to true. Okay. Now, okay, so that does, and that should be that, I guess.
Yes.
Let's find out. Okay, so let's do this and do that and do that. Okay, I've done something wrong somewhere. Let me try and clear the cache.
Oh. Hmm. So this template part is, can you show me the template part code?
Sure.
Because it looks like the actual part has things in it that might be overriding.
Let's have a look at it in here. So that's the code. Come on.
So that's where your margin is coming from. See on line 2, you can see the WP separator has
uh,
it always set to be that 2. And here you can also see that in your HR class, so on line 3, there is style default, which means it's always going to
uh,
go to that as the default instead of the Sendig default, even if you set that as the default style. If you
oh,
were to go to a brand new post editor, for example, and added the separator block, it would likely default to the Sendig separator style.
got it. So
Mhm.
this is because I added the separator to the template, saved it as is, it then picked everything up, and now it's reading from that. Okay,
Correct.
got it, got it, got it. So what I should do is remove the separator, save it,
Mm.
export it, and then re-add it. And then, but
Well,
then the problem is it's going to
so
save it
why
like
don't you
that.
just remove the is style default in your HTML file?
Well, you see, the problem there is if I want to export this code, won't it export if I. Oh, I see what you're saying. 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 Hang on, hang on, hang on. So remove that one.
Right.
Right. And then
Just
that.
save it.
What's in here? Let me see what's in here. Yeah, okay, that's fine. All right. Okay, so let's save that. And then let us refresh.
No, it's still okay. So is it customized or is it
The
not
the
customized?
separator,
The part
the part.
now
No,
in your site editor.
not to the best of my knowledge, but let's. Yeah, there
Okay.
isn't an option to clear, so it's not customized. But
Hmm.
this might be a bug. Um, let's add it quickly and just see. Let me just remove this. Let's add a new one. So let's save it, and then let's add a new one. I love this. I love the fact that they've added insert before. Um, so there's a separator. Oh, that's interesting.
Okay, so it's not actually taking it as the default.
Hmm.
You might have to remove is style default. Maybe.
Oh,
I know that it is slightly buggy.
oh, that's
Sometimes
fine.
I can't get it to work quite right
S-
too. Hmm.
Some might say that's true for the whole of the project, but anyway, not me.
Well,
I wouldn't say that. No, I would. This is the great thing about open source. There's bugs everywhere. um, I love Gutenberg, but yes, sometimes it frustrates me.
yeah,
Um,
sometimes when there's other styles also registered, it can make it a little harder to override the default. Would
this is
require some playing.
this is the funny thing. I see a lot of folks who get quite upset about this is not ready for prime time, blah 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 blah. And I think to myself, well, neither was WordPress, but it had its own bugs that we dealt with over time, and that was
Oh
okay.
yeah.
Bugs are part of
Verb and
software.
5 years old and still didn't have the ability to have static pages.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay, so now I'm going to do that. I'm going to save this. Then I'm going to put it back and I'm going to see what happens. And if it doesn't work 100%, that's fine. I can live with it. I just want to... what have I done? Sorry. Press the wrong button there. I don't know what I've done now. There we go. Sorry. I've been using Mac software for 2 years now, and it still does weird things that I'm not used to.
Mm.
Okay,
Well,
so
why don't
that's
you
been
just use
refreshed.
Windows?
I would actually prefer to use Linux, but
Right.
one of the requirements for my job when I first started was to use Mac. But after X amount of time, I'm allowed to switch back to Linux, which I plan to do at the first opportunity I get. Okay, it doesn't. It looks. I could be wrong, but it looks like there's a buttons.
Yeah, it
Um,
looks like it's not actually taking.
unless I've written it wrong.
Okay. Is underscore default. I think that's the PHP version. Okay, do you want to go down and see what
Ooh.
the yeah.
But they don't have it anywhere in the JavaScript version. That's the annoying part.
They will in the hold on. I'm pulling it up.
I probably have it in the article or something.
Handbook.
So that's the PHP way. See, Justin is doing it the PHP way because he's mostly a PHP developer. That's interesting. I
No,
wonder.
it is underscore default even in JS.
The Pennsylvania Linda says the Pennsylvania Turnpike is always under construction. Imagine if they waited it to be finished before opening the traffic. Sometimes you just have to start using something and can't make it perfect. Absolutely.
I
Um,
hear that.
okay, I'm gonna leave that there. We can
Yeah,
we can dive into those things
I
at some
do
other
it.
stage. I don't want to dive too much into default and that. What I'll probably do after this is just do some asking around, and just check with folks if they know whether this is an issue or not. I love the fact that we have this style there, which is really really cool. Um, what I do find interesting is that that's the row. I want to. Where is the? That's that. I want to move this inside. I should see what happens if I move this. No, that's the wrong place probably. Um, what I do find interesting
Mm.
is how it renders in the editor because of the width settings. Where it only works when I set it to full width, which I guess is what we wanted to do. So let me just save this, and then let's.
Yeah, it's a quirk of the style editor when
Mm,
you're in the
mm.
parts.
So how
Sorry, not
would
the site.
so now here's a question. Do you know how we can uh, hmm, okay. That's okay, actually. That's okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to leave that like that. Folks can then come in if they want to, and they can come and change it to how they want. But by default, that'll be it. So I think that's okay.
Right.
Um, then I'm going to save this to the theme files, and that'll be the way it is. And I think for now,
Mhm.
that's fine.
Yes.
Can I just say, Aruba, that your assistance in all of this is magically amazing, and I love having you here. And I thought you were only going to hang out for half an hour, but you're definitely giving me a lot more of your
Yeah,
time.
I'm here. I'm
So let's.
interested. What can I say?
So I think this is a good place to kind of pause things here, because it gives us what we've kind of wanted with that thing. I think next week we're going to look at making it skew and maybe making it thick and all those kind of things.
Totally.
But I think this is a good place to stop because if we, what's going to happen if we start something new now, we're
Oh
gonna
yeah.
get into it and it's going to be 2 hours later. um,
Always, always.
okay, so there's the footer. It's got the block separator. It's got the default style.
Hmm.
Um, So it means that if somebody changes it, it'll default back and then they can overwrite, which is exactly what we want. So that's
Yes.
cool. And that's that. Awesome. I think that is wonderful. I'm just going to do this quickly. What are we doing here? We're registering the custom block. So this is actually registering the custom block style, and this is the custom block style CSS, I guess. And it's this is the style script that registers it. Yeah, that's fine. I'm not gonna. Custom block style CSS with theme. That's fine. So that's that. That's all that there. So one thing I need to change before I forget. I mean, credit where credit is due. That's got to be added. Sorry.
Oh,
No problem. And then, okay, that's fine. That's there. We can probably take the border away.
mm, yep.
We'll leave that as is for now. That's that. That's good. That's that. That's good. And that's that. Yay! Let's commit this code. If you wouldn't say I've been working with WordPress as long as I have, I can't even remember where these things are. That one. Okay, so we've got 3 new files. So I'm going to add those. Commit everything. Adding custom block theme styles.
It's always fun to see how different people commit the same kind of thing.
I tend to, especially when I'm working on a project on my own, I tend to just what I tend to do is I tend to make sure that everything I don't want to commit is in my git ignore, and then I can just git add all git commit minus a, and then it's just super
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
So I like the simplest way to getting my code committed.
Definitely.
And then git push origin. I think it's trunk. Yeah, it's on trunk. That's good. And that's that. And then we can go and we can close this issue. I love it. I love it. I love
Yay.
it. I love it. I'm going to add you to this one as well. Hopefully you're here somewhere. Are you just Aruba on
Yes.
GitHub? Am I spelling this right?
You got it.
It's not finding you for some reason. Do me a favor. I'm gonna
I don't think I'm in the repo exactly, although I
Okay.
did do a comment in there, but I'm not in it,
Okay, well then we need to fix that right now. Just hang on a second. We need to do this right now. Okay, I'm gonna have to do this off screen. Give me a sec, folks. That one. Okay, I could do this on screen because it's using my password manager, but then I also have to type out my master password, and
Yeah.
you can't see it, but somebody might
Wait
guess.
for one password.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know what I would do without one password. Seriously.
I know. And I love that you can do your vector codes in there and everything,
Absolutely. Okay, so let me do it this way. Let me see if I can find Emily. Emily, what's this name again? I can't find Emily.
I'm not sure you know Emily's. You could use Emily's email address, but maybe you don't want to
right. Okay. So I'm gonna add you there, so long. If you
Yeah.
would like to go ahead and approve that, and then I would like to add you to that ticket.
Yes. Give me 1 second.
Emily, I'll mail you if you see this. If you can get your GitHub, then we can add you to things as well, because that would be really, really cool.
All right. I've accepted the invitation.
Okay. Aruba has accepted. Awesome. So now we should be able to assign Aruba to this, please. What?
Well, you're on a. Oh no, but it's public, so you should be able to assign more than one. It should just be my name.
I'm on the wrong
That's
issue. I'm on the wrong issue. On my WP
Oh,
content.
content. Yes,
Sorry, folks. I said I was tired.
you're
Okay,
allowed. You went to an
done.
excellent conference and
Done.
had a good.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That was amazing. I loved it. I think that's a
Fun.
perfect place to close off. Thank you so much for your help. So
Yeah.
next week, I think we'll probably carry on styling the horizontal custom style for the horizontal rule. We'll do the thickness and all of those things. Maybe we'll do that in the editor and then save those styles or something. But we'll figure that one out. But thank you. That was very, very informative. I really appreciate your input there.
Fun.
Anything else you want to add before we wrap up for today?
Linda's got a cue in the chat.
Okay. Will this be on your Twitch for a while, won't it? I want to catch up. So, I don't actually leave my Twitch streams public after they've happened. And the main reason for that is because I have in the past made the mistake of allowing something to be on screen that shouldn't be. So what I do is I upload them to my live streams to my YouTube channel, which you can find at not this URL. Come on, where's the better one? Okay, YouTube's just being weird. So it's youtube.com at Jonathan underscore or John underscore Bossinger. It's the same as my Twitter handle. I'll copy it into the chat so you folks can grab it there. That's not working apparently. That's not working apparently. Maybe I
Oh,
didn't copy it. Can you paste links in the chat? Apparently not. Let's try this. Maybe I can't paste in the chat. So let me just type it out. youtube.com/at John underscore Bossinger. So I upload the streams there. I usually, Linda, I do it the same as when I do my workshops. I usually upload them the day after when I remember. So if you don't see them the day after, you're welcome to DM me in Slack and remind me. Because I think I actually missed one somewhere along the line and it's gone forever, unfortunately.
I'll be right back.
Cool. So yes, I do upload them there afterwards. The only reason I upload them there and not WordPress TV is because generally the WordPress TV stuff is more sort of formal, prepared content. And these live streams are very random, but you can usually find them there. So if you don't see them within a couple of days, then please do DM me in Slack, in the Make Slack, and just remind me and I'll make sure to upload them. Thank you for the sub. Twitch, I think, keeps them for 7 days. So I usually have until the following stream to remember to upload them. So yeah, give me 1 to 2 days. Make sure, actually this week, remind me tomorrow because I'm only working again tomorrow. Friday's a public holiday. So we'll get that up and running. Awesome.
It was lovely hanging out with you and doing that, John.
Thank you. It was amazing having you and wonderful to learn from you. I love the fact that you are so deep in this. And I wanted to chat to you about this. I was thinking about this in the car today. I don't know that we should call these themes that have block templates and template parts, but then you have to write some custom CSS and custom JavaScript hybrid themes. Why? And I'm not saying this is your decision. I'm saying the project has decided this, but I don't see why we can't just call them block themes as well. They're using.
They're hybrid themes. What you're creating is not a hybrid theme, right? Yours is a block theme because of the fact that you're using HTML parts.
Okay.
Hybrid theme would not be using HTML parts, or at least it would not be only using HTML parts. It would also have and traditional PHP template files as well. That is the way I see the difference anyway.
I've got it. Okay, yeah. So that's
it's not about the fact that you're adding functions.php or the fact that you're adding custom JavaScript or styles, because a block theme can have those things. It's more about, are you using those traditional PHP template files? Are you using, things that might be coded with the PHP functions in a template?
Got it.
And not just a hard-coded HTML file.
Got it.
That
I understand.
Editor can consume on its own.
Got it. Okay, well, thank you for that clarification. That's really good to know, because then because the whole purpose of this journey was to create a block theme, and so I'm glad I'm still doing that. Awesome. Yeah. Cool. So next week Tuesday, same time. If you're available, that would be wonderful. Hopefully Emily can join us as well. We'll carry on styling the horizontal rule, the sending separator, as we'll call it. I won't abbreviate that because that's probably going to be dangerous. I just realized live on the stream. See, this is why I don't upload these things, because that might need to be edited out. But thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you, Aruba, for joining us. It's always wonderful to chat to you. It's always wonderful to learn from you. I'm learning so much through this process. And I'll see you next week.
Yeah. See you,
Awesome.
everyone.
Thank you.